Hello, my name is Edward Kendrick, and this is Kyle Meckling,
Hello.
and we're here to show you how to play Loyalty. As I'm sure you know, going through a rule book on your own can be very confusing and very off-putting, especially when the game is somewhat complicated. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take you through visual and auditory rulebook tutorial. So first of all, the game of Loyalty is a historical strategy board game. It's for 3 to 6 players, and the goal is to join with another player in order to take out the castles of everyone else. 2 players win at the end, so it's a semi-cooperative game. And one of the important things is that you don't need to win with the person that you started out friends with. And that allows for a ton of intrigue possibilities. As someone has described it, it's politics in real time. There are actually some cards that force changed alliances. Sometimes people are allied with the same person the whole game. So there's a lot of possibility, and that's where the game becomes really fun. So what is a territory?
A territory is your board. The castle is your fortress. Just outside of that is your farmlands. And then separating your what we would call fields is a river and bridge that separate it into the farmlands and outside of that, which is the hinterlands. And those have to do with where battles happen in those fields. So when somebody attacks your fortress, they have to move through your hinterlands, then attack your farmlands before they can even think about attacking your fortress. Also within your fortress is your town, where your peasants reside. Your peasants are considered your life force in the game, and so if you run out of peasants, you're deposed and you no longer have any strength in the game. So they're protected within your city walls at all times. So when somebody attacks you, they're trying to get through your defenses in order to attack your peasants. On the left side of the board is what we call the side scroll, and it's basically a reference guide for the important parts of the game. So at the very top, you can see there's Start of Game, and that lists all the pieces and components that you start with at the very beginning. We will get into the individual icons and pieces a little later. Next up is the turn progression, and that's basically a reference guide for your turn. If you're going to work through it, they're numbered so that you know which one comes first, and they go in that order. Also on this side scroll is the benefits of farming, and that's basically the number of peasants you have equates to the amount of money that you gain when you farm. And then just under that is the buy section, which shows you how much each piece in the game costs, everything you can buy in the game. In the upper right corner of your side scroll is an icon with loyalty underneath it. It represents your allegiance. So what will go there is your shield token, and when you're allied with somebody, you give that token to them,
Or they give it to
or
you.
they give it to you. And then below all that is the Independent Kingdom scroll. It's separate because when you're an Independent Kingdom, you get different bonuses and downsides, and we will go into that in a little more detail when we discuss allegiances. So in this game, it's important to understand that there's really no map like in other strategy-based games. Everybody has their own territory, and that territory is the board that sits in front of you. And each of those territories is considered adjacent to each other, so you can move from one to another no matter how far away they are on the table. One thing that's important is that if somebody takes over your territory, they gain control of that castle. And then they have a series of benefits that happen with that.